So I have a feeling that the icebreaker piece of this video might run a little bit long. So I do have chapters in the description below if you want to go ahead and move forward and not hear what I have to say at the beginning of the video. So the rumor is that this upcoming Winter Village set is going to be a lodge. Not exactly sure what that's going to look like other than, and I'm not trying to be mean, somewhat of a nondescript, plain looking building, right? Right now you're looking at Lego Shop at Home, and this is the Winter Village Cottage. There in the past has been the Santa's Visit, which is still available, which isn't too bad of a set. And we also have the Holiday Main Street, which is a cool set. It comes with a trolley. So there are some good things. I don't mean to always be critical of the Winter Village sets, but you know, the last Winter Village set that really excited me was the Gingerbread House. I know the Santa's Workshop was probably one of my favorite ones, but I would like more Hallmark sets. But of course, if you're building a village, you need buildings, right? So, you know, if anybody has any more information on that, I would love to hear the comments in the comments section. And also, since we're talking about rumors, I hear that the next modular building might be a hospital. If anybody knows anything about that, I would absolutely love to hear somebody post something about that in the comments section. So when it comes to modulars, if next year is a hospital of some sort, I'm going to go ahead and take a pass at that. Now we are big announcement here at the house. We have just broken ground on our Lego city. It is too small to even show. But the interesting thing is, I have said in the past about YouTube channels that just have cities of the same old, same old. Every city has a cinema palace. Every city has a detective's office, which is actually a really good set. I like that set a lot. I was looking at things to incorporate into our Lego city, and a lot of these are going to be mocks or rebrickables, right? I really don't intend to have an actual modular creator expert in the city, but I'm probably going to break that rule. The brick bank, in my opinion, and of course this is a retired set, which means I need to purchase this set off those dirty resellers. The brick bank, in my opinion, is probably the one and only modular set that I will purchase for the city. And the reason why that is because I was trying to come up with a mock version of a bank, and this set looks absolutely so good. There's no way that I can do better than this. Now when it comes to the diner, and that was a cool set, I'm not going to use that diner. We're going to make a mock. We're going to do the Peach Pit from Beverly Hills 90210 and throw a little bit of nostalgia in there, right? But the brick bank is the only modular I see that we actually need for our city. The very first building to our modular city is the Cozier Home. It is a rebrickable. You needed 2 3-in-1 cozy house sets to create this bad boy, and we are in the middle of building it right now, and I'm very excited to this. We're not going to be updating everybody on this channel. We have talked about a second YouTube channel that's strictly for city and maybe some other things, but I've never advertised my Instagram account before because there's only one picture on it. But I will be updating people on my city. So if anybody wants to follow my Instagram at Wolf of Bricks, feel free to do that. The other day I posted a picture of the Technic Batmobile that I turned into a rebrickable set, which turns it into a 1989 Batman. That set is actually off to my right shoulder, your left shoulder if you're watching it. And I'm tailoring this Instagram account to be more than just reselling. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, please feel free to do so. All right, so let's talk about Q4 prep. I am somebody, if you've known me for a long time, I absolutely, the first week of August, like to get out in front of Q4. For me, this is the time we're organizers. This is the time that we're packing boxes. We're not packing absolutely everything up, right? But we are going to be packing up sets. Maybe 80% of the quantity we have for a SKU we're going to have in boxes, and we just want to be proactive instead of reactive. So whenever it comes to Q4, November and December especially, things will be as seamless as they possibly can. So something I think is always a good reminder to talk about is boxes, right? So for me, and of course you do what you want, I'm just trying to provide the information. Whenever it comes to Lego sets, let's say there's 100 or less Lego LEGO sets that you're going to be selling during Q4, you'll probably be doing it through eBay. I feel like there's absolutely no reason why you can't reach out to your local Barnes & Noble or your other big box store, as long as they're friendly, and say, hey, I need, you know, a bunch of boxes. Is that something that you're able to provide? Now, I absolutely would not tell them that you are a reseller, because they probably won't accommodate that. But I know for a fact Barnes & Noble's, not only will they supply the boxes, but they'll also supply the packing pillows if you want to ask them for that. And I think that's a good way to reducing costs for your first, second, or even third Q4. Now, this is something I've said in the past. When it comes to sourcing boxes, if you have more than 100 units that you'll be selling during Q4, you may want to just go ahead and check out the prices. I know for me, Amazon is the #1 place where we purchase our boxes. Occasionally, we will reach out to Uline, but Uline's shipping is usually pretty expensive. There will be the occasional promotions where they'll have free shipping, but I know one time I spent $300 on a bunch of boxes, and then there was like $40 with the delivery, and it came in this big truck. I just didn't understand why it happened the way it did. Now, if you're looking for boxes on Amazon, you could go ahead and not just buy specific boxes for specific sets. I know there are some people out there that like doing that, but you should be able to purchase a box that could fit maybe the size of 2 or 3 different sets. I like to use architecture as an example. The New York skyline, the Chicago skyline, a lot of those skyline sets are not even that, but like the Guggenheim Museum, those could all fit in the same general size of a box. And that should allow you to save some time where you're not needing to go up and look at the measurements on Google each single time and buy specific boxes. So as everybody knows, I like to make it as easy and streamlined as possible, and that's one of the ways that I do that. So maybe for about the last 12 to 18 months, I've come across a lot of resellers that are going through some natural growing pains, which is great because that means your business is getting larger and larger, right? And those people will say, listen, Jim, I'm doing a lot of work when it comes to FBM during Q4. How can I alleviate some of that? What I like to say is, if you do FBM, and most of the resellers I know do FBM, there's very few resellers out there that do FBA, but if you don't like doing the grind of FBM, and I totally understand that, you may want to think about sending 20% of your inventory to FBA. If you're sending something to the Amazon warehouse, you should think of them as your assistant. Now, of course, there will be storage fees and things of that sort, so you need to do your due diligence, and you need to see if that's something that's right for you. But if you're one of those people that are starting to go through some growing pains where your basement is just filling up, and you say to yourself, you know what, I'm only doing 300 units this Q4. I don't care if I have 500 units that are sellable. You may just want to go and send those 200 units to Amazon FBA and let them do the work for you. And then when it comes time for January, February, and you're reevaluating your last Q4, you could see if that was something that is not only the right fit for you, you can also determine if that's something that you want to continue or maybe even add to it a little bit more. So a part of the planning stages, and I mentioned this a little bit whenever I was talking about boxes, is I like to identify what SKUs I'm going to sell during Q4, and during the month of August, not the month of October or the month of September, I like to box up 80% of that inventory. Well, why 80%? Well, there will be times where you will have people that will purchase multiple units, right? And you don't want to have 100 individually boxed units of one Lego set whenever somebody's going to go ahead and purchase multiple orders, right? You want to have some of that flexibility. Will you be doing some boxing and packing during Q4? Absolutely. But if you do 80% of that now and just forget about it, it will make your life a lot more simpler come this Q4. And since we're coming close to one of the busiest times of the year when it comes to Lego reselling, you should consider joining our Patreon. Last month was the first full month where we had the 7-day free trial, and we had the most Patreon members join in 1 month than we have in the last 3 years that we've had the Patreon. We do offer a very impressive Excel tool where you can download and manage your inventory. I know there's a lot of people on the forums that have that question on where they can find that tool. Well, you can find it on Patreon. We also have a list compiled of the exclusive sets that are offered at all the big box stores, and of course Lego Shop at Home. I know a lot of people are asking where they could find that list. Well, guess what? You can find that out on our Patreon. And of course, we do the one-on-one consultations. We also have our group chats, and I make myself very available to anybody any time of the day when they have a question on something. So again, the link is in the description. Feel free to check out the 7-day free trial. Now, I will be putting out a video maybe in the next upcoming weeks or in a month on what to expect when it comes to Q4 as a buyer whenever it comes to the deals out there. But because I think this is so important, I just wanted to share whenever it is Cyber Week, that is whenever I purchase my paper for the entire year. And whenever I say paper, of course I'm talking about computer paper, of course I'm talking about shipping labels. I have found out that those are the cheapest times of the year when those products are available. I have been buying these products at such a discounted rate for many, many years. There's really not any time throughout the rest of the year that you could get them for so cheap. That's something I do like clockwork every November, but I just wanted to share that with you, and I will do a reminder on this in an upcoming video. And here's something that I'm going to mention that I've never mentioned in a Q4 prep video before. You need to mentally prepare yourself to have at times some terrible customers. I know a person, he's probably gonna watch this video and he's gonna say, he's talking about me. This guy has his act together. He came into LEGO reselling maybe a year ago. I mean, this guy is on it. He has all his ducks in a row, but this is the one person, time after time after time again, he's had some really crappy customers and he's done nothing wrong. So recently we chatted and he says, Jim, what advice do you have for me this year? And I said, honestly, I said, you do things so well. I would probably say just expect the worst whenever it comes to customers, right? And if you have terrible customers, which everybody does, you know, it all depends what time of the year, right? Just don't let it get to you. Don't sweat the small stuff. You need to look at your business. You need to celebrate everything you're doing right, but you also need to look at those small problems. And I don't want to use the word small because sometimes they can be big problems, but you do want to look at those people as minor inconveniences, because when it's all said and done, at the end of Q4, you have absolutely no reason not to high-five yourself, do some chest bumps, do whatever, and celebrate all of your success that you had during Q4. Try and not sweat the small stuff. Don't let those customers live rent-free in your head. Just do what you need to do to either please them or build a case or do whatever. And then once they've moved on and you've moved on, then you can worry about other things that aren't that much of a problem. That's it, my friends. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, I'm Jim with wolfofbricks.com. Always go out there and get it.